The news story revolves around a local news station conducting a sting operation on a service contractor, alleging that the contractor has a history of overcharging customers. The news station employed an electrician to intentionally create a simple problem in an electrical panel. Specifically, the electrician placed a single-pole circuit breaker in the trip position. Subsequently, the contractor provided an estimate of $546 to rectify the issue, which the news station deemed excessive and publicly criticized. The situation warranted a thorough examination from various viewpoints to develop a balanced and informed opinion. From the news station's standpoint, their actions may have stemmed from complaints received from viewers who felt they were being overcharged by the contractor. The sting operation was strategically designed to expose what the news station perceived as unethical practices. The news station focused on the high cost, but may have lacked providing context or considering additional factors that the contractor may have had to deal with. This perspective is rooted in protecting consumers and holding businesses accountable for fair pricing. From the contractor's perspective, several possibilities exist. The contractor may have been completely unaware of the pre-existing manipulation of the electrical panel by the electrician. The estimate provided could have been based on standard pricing protocols for similar service calls and repairs, factoring in overhead, labor costs, and potential diagnostic time. It's plausible that the estimate included additional services or materials that were not explicitly disclosed by the news station during their presentation of the situation. The contractor might have been unfairly targeted without a comprehensive investigation or afforded proper due process, leading to reputational damage. Other important considerations arise in evaluating the situation. The electrician's actions in deliberately misleading the contractor could be construed as unethical and potentially even illegal, depending on the specific laws and regulations in the jurisdiction. The news station's chosen ambush tactics may be considered sensationalized, lacking objectivity, and potentially biased, which could compromise the accuracy and fairness of their reporting. The fact that the contractor's state license board has not taken action to shut down the business suggests that there might be insufficient evidence of illegal activities or unethical conduct that would warrant such measures. In conclusion, while concerns about potential overcharging by service contractors are legitimate, it is critical to address these concerns with fairness, caution, and objectivity. Employing ambush tactics and sensationalized reporting can easily lead to biased conclusions and damage the reputation of individuals or businesses without proper justification. A balanced approach involves considering multiple perspectives, conducting thorough investigations, and providing due process to all parties involved before making judgments or disseminating potentially damaging information to the public. Focusing on the technical aspects of the situation, let's delve deeper into the electrical panel and circuit breaker involved. A typical residential electrical panel receives power from the utility company, usually at 240 volts. This 240 volts supply is then split into two 120 volts legs, which supply power to individual circuits throughout the house. Circuit breakers are essential safety devices designed to protect these circuits from overloads and short circuits. When a circuit breaker trips, it interrupts the flow of electricity, preventing damage to wiring and appliances, and reducing the risk of fire. A single-pole circuit breaker, as mentioned in the news story, is typically used for 120-volt circuits. These circuits often power lights, outlets, and small appliances. When the electrician placed the circuit breaker in the trip position, they effectively disconnected the corresponding circuit from the power supply. Diagnosing a trip circuit breaker is usually a straightforward process. The first step is to visually inspect the circuit breaker panel. A trip breaker will typically be in an intermediate position between on and off, or clearly marked as tripped. To reset the breaker, you first need to push it fully to the off position and then flip it back to the on position. If the breaker immediately trips again, it indicates a persistent overload or short circuit on that particular circuit. In such cases, further investigation is necessary to identify the cause of the problem. This might involve unplugging appliances on the circuit, inspecting wiring for damage, or using a multimeter to check for continuity. The contractor's estimate of $546 to repair the problem raises questions about what the estimate included. It's possible that the contractor assumed there was a more complex issue than simply a trip breaker. For example, they might have suspected a short circuit in the wiring, which would require more extensive troubleshooting and repair work. The estimate could have also included the cost of materials, such as replacement wiring or a new circuit breaker, as well as labor costs for the time spent diagnosing and fixing the problem. It's also worth noting that electrical contractors typically have overhead costs such as insurance, licensing fees, and vehicle expenses, which are factored into their pricing. In the context of electrical work, it's important to understand the difference between a simple fix and a more complex repair. A simple fix might involve resetting a trip breaker, replacing a faulty light switch, or tightening a loose connection. These types of repairs usually take a short amount of time and require minimal materials. A more complex repair, on the other hand, might involve troubleshooting a short circuit, replacing damaged wiring, or upgrading an electrical panel. These types of repairs can take several hours or even days to complete and require specialized tools and expertise. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides detailed guidelines for safe electrical installations and repairs. Electricians are required to follow the NEC to ensure that their work meets safety standards and is up to code. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, grounding, overcurrent protection, and equipment installation. It is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and industry best practices. When evaluating an electrical contractor's estimate, it's important to consider the scope of the work, the materials required, and the contractor's labor rate. It's also a good idea to get multiple estimates from different contractors to compare pricing. Before hiring an electrical contractor, it's essential to verify that they are licensed and insured. A licensed electrician has met the requirements set by the state or local jurisdiction to perform electrical work. Insurance protects both the homeowner and the contractor in case of accidents or damages. Checking references from previous customers can also provide valuable insights into the contractor's quality of work and customer service. In the specific scenario presented in the news story, the electrician intentionally created a problem that appeared to be a simple fix. This raises ethical concerns about the news station's tactics and whether they were fair to the contractor. A more objective approach would have been to present the contractor with a genuine electrical problem and evaluate their response based on their diagnostic skills, pricing, and professionalism. It is important to maintain objectivity and be cautious with ambush tactics and sensationalized reporting. An electrical panel typically houses several circuit breakers, each protecting a specific circuit in the home. These circuits are designed to handle a certain amount of electrical load, measured in amps. When a circuit is overloaded, the circuit breaker trips to prevent overheating and potential fire hazards. Common causes of circuit overloads include plugging too many appliances into a single circuit, using appliances that draw a lot of power, or having faulty wiring. Electrical panels are typically rated for a certain amperage, such as 100 amps, 150 amps, or 200 amps. The rating indicates the maximum amount of current that the panel can safely handle. It's important to ensure that the electrical panel is adequately sized for the electrical needs of the home. If the panel is too small, it may need to be upgraded to accommodate additional circuits or higher power appliances. Grounding is another essential aspect of electrical safety. A grounding system provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electrical shock. Grounding is typically achieved by connecting the electrical panel to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or a metal water pipe. All electrical outlets and appliances with metal enclosures should be properly grounded to ensure safety. When working with electricity, it's crucial to follow safety precautions to avoid electrical shock. Always turn off the power at the circuit breaker before working on any electrical wiring or equipment. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as rubber gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the work. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to take the necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. Remember that electrical codes and regulations vary by location, so it's essential to comply with the specific requirements in your area. Local building departments can provide information about electrical codes and permit requirements. Regular electrical inspections can help identify potential safety hazards and ensure that your electrical system is in good working order. A qualified electrician can perform a thorough inspection of your electrical panel, wiring, and outlets to identify any issues that need to be addressed. During an electrical inspection, the electrician will check for things like loose connections, damaged wiring, overloaded circuits, and improper grounding. They will also test the operation of circuit breakers and ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs. GFCIs are special types of outlets that are designed to protect against electrical shock in wet locations, such as bathrooms and kitchens. They work by monitoring the current flowing through the circuit and tripping if there is a difference between the incoming and outgoing current, which could indicate a ground fault. Electrical surges can also damage sensitive electronic equipment. Surge protectors can help protect against power surges by diverting excess voltage away from the equipment. Surge protectors are available in various forms, including power strips, wall outlets, and whole house surge protectors. It's important to choose a surge protector that is rated for the voltage and current requirements of the equipment being protected. In addition to surge protectors, uninterruptible power supplies, or UPSs, can provide backup power in the event of a power outage. UPS typically use batteries to provide power to connected equipment for a limited amount of time, allowing you to safely shut down the equipment and prevent data loss. UPS are commonly used to protect computers, servers, and other critical electronic devices. When installing new electrical wiring, it's important to use the correct type of wire for the application. The NEC specifies the types of wire that are allowed for different applications, such as residential wiring, commercial wiring, and underground wiring. The wire must be properly sized to handle the electrical load of the circuit. Using undersized wire can lead to overheating and potential fire hazards. Electrical boxes are used to enclose electrical connections and protect them from damage. Electrical boxes are available in various sizes and materials, such as metal and plastic. The type of electrical box used depends on the application and the type of wiring being used. All electrical connections must be made inside an electrical box to comply with the NEC. When making electrical connections, it's important to use the correct type of connectors. Wire connectors, such as wire nuts and crimp connectors, are used to join wires together. The connectors must be properly sized for the wire gauge and must be installed correctly to ensure a secure connection. Loose or poorly made connections can lead to overheating and potential fire hazards. When working with electrical panels, it's important to be aware of the potential hazards. Electrical panels contain live electrical components that can cause serious injury or death if contacted. Always turn off the power at the main breaker before working inside an electrical panel. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment. If you are not comfortable working with electrical panels, it's best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the work. Knob and tube wiring is an outdated wiring method that is still found in some older homes. Knob and tube wiring consists of single conductor wires supported by ceramic knobs and tubes. This type of wiring is not grounded and is more susceptible to damage than modern wiring methods. If you have knob and tube wiring in your home, it's recommended to have it replaced with modern wiring. Aluminum wiring was used in many homes built in the 1960s and 1970s. Aluminum wiring is more prone to oxidation and loosening than copper wiring, which can lead to overheating and potential fire hazards. If you have aluminum wiring in your home, it's recommended to have it inspected by a qualified electrician. The electrician may recommend replacing the aluminum wiring with copper wiring or installing special connectors that are designed for use with aluminum wiring. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or RFCs, are special types of circuit breakers that are designed to protect against arc faults. Arc faults are dangerous electrical conditions that can cause fires. RFCs work by monitoring the electrical current and tripping if they detect an arc fault. The NEC requires a size to be installed in many areas of the home, such as bedrooms, living rooms, and dining rooms. When choosing an electrical contractor, it's important to consider their experience, qualifications, and reputation. Ask for references from previous customers and check online reviews. Make sure the contractor is licensed and insured. Get a written estimate that includes the scope of work, materials, and labor costs. Don't be afraid to ask questions and clarify any concerns you may have. A good electrical contractor will be happy to explain the work they will be performing and answer any questions you may have.